Here with Rocky Boiman, NFL linebacker and Cincinnati native. Great to see you, Rocky.
Glad to be here with you.
So we figured we'd talk a little bit for a New Year, New You issue. I know you're involved in quite a few things. I guess first and foremost, you're a Cincinnati guy. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up on the west side of Cincinnati, in Montford Heights and in Green Township, actually. And I went to St. X High School, and then we've traveled various, lots of places in the country, having lived and playing football in college and everything. And now now that I'm done playing, I actually chose to come back here, believe it or not, and live and hopefully one day raise a family of my own.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people do that. You know, we find themselves coming back home to Cincinnati. It just seems to be a great place to live for a lot of reasons.
It really is. And had you asked me 3-4 years ago if I'd moved back here, I probably would have said no. But it's where family, my family's from, and I just think it's just there's so many good things about Cincinnati that you realize once you're away, and it's so nice to come back. You kind of get that good feeling when you come back here, and so that's why I chose to come back here and get my own place and move on with the second part of life here.
And so, had you always dreamt of playing in the NFL when you were a kid?
I did. I remember being in grade school telling my teachers that I was going to go to Notre Dame and play football and be a captain and play in the NFL. And I'm sure some of them were like, yeah, right. And then some of them were, probably knew the kind of kid I was and knew that was a possibility. And I've been, working my entire life for that. I don't think a lot of kids, if you ask a lot of kids at the age of 7 if they know what they want to do, and I did. And, so it really helped me. I kind of really helped me focus on that goal, and along the way, obviously, I had such just great people around me. My mom, my dad, and even my sister really kind of helped me with that guidance and the discipline that it takes to do something like that.
And when it comes to your studies at Notre Dame, aside from football, what did you study there?
I did pre-med. I studied pre-med there, and that just came about because I was inspired along the way by a doctor here in town. His name's Dr. Robert Berger. He's the head guy over at Beacon. And he had helped me out with an issue I had when I was young. I just saw that power that a doctor can have to be able to help people, and I was like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. And so I chose to go and study that, and even probably into college, I knew that by my sophomore and junior year, it's probably not what I wanted to do. But I was like, I started this, I want to finish it, and I'm glad I did. It took a lot of discipline and things and hard work to be able to finish that, to get that degree, and I'm very proud of that.
So when it came to the chance to play in the NFL, first of all, I'm sure it had to be pretty satisfying to accomplish that dream.
Definitely.
And then when you entered into the NFL, was there any thought at all about life after the NFL when you started?
Not really, and it's funny you asked that, because I was. I always, I tried well in school, and I did well in school and everything, and I tried to be around in person. But for the most part, I was like this with football, I think that's the kind of dedication it takes to be able to make it. It's no, I think I can do it. It's got to be, I can do this, and I'm going to do it. And so in that respect, I kind of didn't really get involved in a bunch of other things and this and that, because this is the goal I wanted to do, and I want to be able to accomplish that. And like I said, I think it takes that sort of commitment and dedication, and that's what I was blessed to be able to and fortunate to have happen. And then just kind of took it from there, and I always wanted to. Every day I showed up at practice, I wanted to be the best, and I wanted to get better at what I did, and having that mindset was enabled me to play 8 years and accomplish some great things, which that's a long career, NFL speaking.
Yeah, absolutely, it really is. And now that you find yourself, like you said, kind of on the outside, I know a lot of people in general, because of the economy, have had to make some changes too. Maybe they were in a job that they always wanted, and then found themselves without a job, maybe having to go back to school, maybe having to learn another career. I know with you recently, you helped found a political action committee, and done some work on behalf of Steve Shabbat to get him elected. Is politics something that you find yourself getting more and more involved in?
Actually, I do, and that's something that kind of, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, really sort of sparked my interest, just kind of looking and seeing the state of our country and things that I thought needed some change and everything like that. So I kind of wanted to get involved and start helping out again with Steve Shabbat's campaign. What a great guy he is, and the great things he's done being a congressman here. So I wanted to help get him back elected, and that was actually in '08 when I joined his campaign, and he was unsuccessful that year, but then came on again this year and helped him, and then just along the way, I just wanted to do more. I didn't want to be the guy that was yelling at the television and the newspaper and stuff. I was like, I want to try to put my foot out there and help and really do something proactive, energy wise with this. So I took it a step further and did the Political Action Committee. And the Political Action Committee, LEAD PAC, is an acronym for LEAD is an acronym for Leadership, Excellence, Action, and Dedication. And the whole thing started, long story short, just with my experiences in the NFL. I played with some of the best leaders, best coach. You're talking Tony Dungy, Mike Tomlin, Jeff Fisher, a lot of great leaders, and they all had these certain characteristics that made that particular team I was on one of the best. Heck, we won a Super Bowl with the Colts. Just look at those characteristics. They were always, always had long-term vision, always stuck to the plan, and they're always men of great character. And I was like, if these are the kind of qualities that we expect from our leaders in arguably one of the toughest, most hardest professions in the country, one of these same characteristics are the ones we expect out of our elected representatives. So that's kind of why I started LEAD PAC, and just to try to help find the mission of finding representatives that are going to be the next leaders of our city, of our community, of our state, everything. And I wanted to keep it at the local and state level, and instead of going federal, because I believe, in my opinion, that's where real politics really starts to happen, is at the grassroots level and goes up. It doesn't
making real change locally. Then.
Right, exactly. Make some things happen locally, because I think that's where the real workings of government take place. I think that's how it's happened since the founding of our country. So I think rather than let's start some national, federal sort of political action community, no, let's start here. This is the community I grew up in, the community I love. Let's help this one out, and then then we can branch out. Maybe other communities can see how this one's done, and then the leaders that we have and say, hey, that's a pretty good idea.
Well, you can tell that you're definitely passionate about that. And I know another thing that's important too is for people when they're maybe reinventing themselves or thinking about a change, is looking for opportunities. And I know another opportunity we got brought here. Get the ball as El Arco Tequila. So what's this about?
Well, this is funny right now. I got so many things going on. Just like I said before, with football, I was always like this. So I kind of didn't really focus on a bunch of other things. But now that I'm out, I'm kind of refinding myself. So my philosophy right now is I'm going to just try a bunch of different avenues. Throw as many lines out in the water and see what happens. And
it seems that entrepreneurship is a thing that a lot of people that maybe lost their jobs, maybe the best opportunity was really to create your own destiny. Right. Don't you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I that's just a few things that I have going on, and it's, at some point the more clear path will come about. But right now I'm just trying to find the different things out there, and this happens to be one of them. This is an opportunity that came about through me and a couple other business partners here in Cincinnati with this tequila, and this is one that this is without a doubt one of the top tequilas out there right now. This is among the top 5 rated tequilas in the country, if not the world, right now. If you go to tequila.net and this is not like just a bunch of random people giving reviews. These are people that know what they're talking about.
Sure.
They're professionals, what they do, and it's 100% blue agave, which is very few tequilas out there are 100% blue agave, and so it ranks up there, tasting better than a lot of the ones that people hear about, and we're getting ready to flood the market with it right now. I think it's really going to take off with it. It's already right now in a few local. Of the top local restaurants and bars here in Cincinnati.
Have there been any comparisons? I'm a fan of HBO programming, and obviously the with Entourage and Turtle talking about their tequila.
Yeah, it is funny. We actually started this before that came out, and as we were going, we're like, oh my God, this is like on TV right now. Well, hopefully it turns out. I don't know how that story turned out for them, but hopefully it was good, and we're gonna take it there, because I get. Being in the NFL, I get pitched a lot of different things and opportunities, and I get to do something I don't really believe in. I really do my homework. I think I'm really smart, and this is something just in talking with the people and looking at different things. This is something that I really believe in. I think people are really going to like and going to people are going to develop an appreciation for yourself.
So in short, obviously, I mean, you had the great opportunities in the NFL that presented themselves, including the ring on your finger and everything else. And then life beyond that, maybe advice for folks out there is really just keep an eye out for opportunity then?
Yeah, I would say just keep an eye out for opportunity and don't really limit yourself. I think you got to find a balance between not having too much on your plate, which maybe right now I do, but I think you need to do that a little bit to a point to kind of to find yourself a little bit and find what you want to do and find what you can be successful in. So I would say, I mean, I know something like this may sound crazy, or some of the the political action committee, or my desire to get into politics might sound crazy, or my football academy might sound crazy, but I think it's all you got to find what you're good at and find a way where, to me, I just want to be able to make an impact on this community and this world and be successful and be a part of something big. That's what it's all about. So yeah, I would say, advice-wise, people don't be afraid to try something. But along with that, I think that the main thing that I know people say that all the time. Don't be afraid to try this. I think there's a lot of hard work that goes into that people don't want to talk about. So you got to do your due diligence within that and really put yourself out there and do everything it's going to take and see where it goes.
All right. Well, Rocky Boiman, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Pete.
All right.
All right.